Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? God, I haven't been on live StreamYard in so long. Just let me know if you can hear me. Hi, Jamie. It's so good to see you. I didn't plan on going live, but I awoke um, to use the bathroom and I got a text and hey, Black Eagle, psst, what's up? Good, thank you, Jamie. Um, to a text that Mrs. Portland is in jail. And if anyone of you aren't familiar with who she is, she and Noodle Mash, who's another creator, and I call it the drama community because that's what it is. Um, Noodle Mash obtained a stalking order, a no stalking order, several months ago, I think, November, December, sometime late last year. And Mrs. Portland, um, she's got some problems. She's physical challenges and mental challenges, and she is disabled. And says, "Look, I don't like her, okay?" But she says pretty cruel, nasty things, and people have given her chance after chance. I say it out of that limelight completely. But I've seen that, like, say, Robbie's tried to befriend her after they get in a fight. So, but she gets triggered very easily. And Noodle Mash, if you're listening, you're welcome to take a link because I noticed on Noodle Mash's page, she wrote a community post. Oh, she took it down. No, wait a minute. Let me find it live. The actual truth of what has happened this weekend live in 15 hours. No, 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 no. Noodle Mash, you can come over here and take a link because I don't think the community can wait 15 hours. People are upset. Hey, let it go. Peggy, um, is she the one who has lots of money? Who? Noodle Mash? Or I know Mrs. Portland supposedly has a trust, but uh, that's neither here or there right now, I guess. Right now, money isn't getting her out of jail. She's in jail for the weekend, which I know in my state, if you're in jail for the weekend, you got to wait for the next business day, which is Tuesday, because today is a holiday. It's a federal holiday, so courts are closed. So anyway, in my opinion, she can't manage her responses. So so with Mrs. Portland, okay, with some people, and I've done this for a long time, with some people, um, in order is her first name Joni? No, uh, I don't know. I have no idea. Portland? No. No. Her first name is not Joni. It's Kelly, which I'm not doxing her because she has called herself Kelly and people refer to her as Kelly. Anyway, look at when people like that. All right, so they've been having this bickering for a long, long time. They used to live in the same apartment complex. They went to high school together. Mrs. Portland accuses her Noodle Mash of bullying her since high school, blah, blah, blah. It went on and on and on. And Noodle Mash wanted to defend herself, which I get in the beginning. And she defended herself and defended herself and defended herself, but it didn't stop. Mrs. Portland would just react for the fact that she was being talked about. And for every reaction, there's an action. Is that good? Oh, for every action, I'm half asleep. For every action, there's a reaction. So people like Mrs. Portland just shut up talking about her, Mrs. Portland. Don't talk about her. This incessant need for people to every day go live thinking I have to defend myself. Noodle Mash, she's not going to kill you. You're safe. Okay. All you had to do was ignore her. And people will say, well, I ignored her and she still went on and on. So let them go on and on and on. Let them. Okay. If you know your truth, that is enough. You don't have to prove to the rest of YouTube world what a good person you are because you did that in the first 10 live streams starting last year. So at this point, your subscribers know who you are. They're going to love you for who you are. Why did you go on and on? So you got this no stalking order against Mrs. Portland, and Mrs. Portland didn't stop. She kept going on live, reacting. Now, Noodle Mash would say, well, I'm not mentioning her name, but would be very condescending in a roundabout way where you know who she was talking about in talking about the issue of bullying and people's behaviors that were similar. Just mentioning behaviors that we all know that Mrs. Portland exhibited was very condescending. And now she's in jail. Mrs. P. IKNS has Wiedemann Steiner syndrome, along with many other disabilities. Yes, so she has physical disabilities and mental. And hey, Trish. Yes, I'm back. I've been very busy this year. It's been a good year. I mean, I got my shit together. I lost my mom last August, and I went in. It sucks. It sucks. And I promised myself at the beginning of the year that I would make some positive changes. And I have, and I have. And I've just been really busy. Uh, what is she to do with Mrs. Portland in naming her grandchildren's school? That puts her grandchildren in danger. I would have reported it without response. Look, I agree with that. Okay, no one should. Her behavior is not right. I agree with that, but I think it got to a point, and maybe I'm wrong, Peggy, but it got to a point where Noodle Mash would go live almost every single evening to address this whole issue without mentioning Mrs. Portland's name, but you know what the subject matter was. And I think it escalated Mrs. Portland to the point where she was totally out of control. I really believe that if this was kept off a public forum, especially after the no stalking order, what was granted, that it would not have escalated to the degree it has been. So I am livid that some people just have to go on and on and on every single freaking day playing the victim in public. In public, knowing Mrs. P is that vulnerable, knowing she's vulnerable, that she cannot handle, she can't react appropriately. And I'm not so sure, like, if someone did it to me, I had it done to me for a short time, several years ago online, and I was a wreck. I didn't react. I reacted in my own way in private, but that was just for a short time. This has been going on for a long, long time. I never understood why anyone would feed Mrs. P's weakness. She is easily riled. I would think, something like mental health treatment that is stipulated by the court would be more preferable and more productive than throwing somebody in the clinker for the long weekend. Am I getting loud? I can't get too loud because I have company sleeping. Um, but I wanted to scream. And I don't know if Noodle Mash even knows my channel, but she can certainly take a link. I don't think people want to wait 15 hours for you to go live and try to wrap a bow around this shit, this shit storm. That nothing can justify unless she came after you with a knife or a weapon, any kind of a weapon. That's what I want to hear and say, okay, all right. Yeah, she should be in jail, and hopefully Tuesday they'll get her stipulated into a mental health facility. Are we going to hear that? I don't know. I don't know. Thanks, Trichetti. Yeah, it's been hard. I went to the nursery a few days ago to get some flowers for my mom's garden. I'm walking through the whole nursery crying, crying. It's hard. Everything is a reminder of your mom when you lose your mom, everything. And my mom loved flowers. And I used to take her to this nursery and I used to say, Mom, last year I took her and I said, Mom, what plant do you want? I'll buy you anything. What plant do you want here? And she said to me, all of them. So I would have, yeah. So Peggy, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, but um I think a lot of this could have been avoided. I have tried. I have gone over to Mash's chats. I thought she was crafts. I mean, she does craft sometimes. And when she first came, I did. I was fond of her crafts, but I couldn't handle just this constant thing with Mrs. Portland, the back and forth, the back and forth. And I felt like, well, maybe I'll email her and just suggest, maybe just not go public about it. But you know how it is on YouTube. No one's going to listen. Even if it's just advice, say, hey, I worked in mental health. I still work with mental health patients. I know this is what works for a lot of the people, but nobody cares. I could have been a psychiatrist, and people are going to do what they want to do, and they don't want to feel censored, and I get that. But um, I think if it were me, and believe me, I've had neighbors with mental health problems, and the best thing you can do is avoid them. Don't react to them, because it just escalates. You can't expect them to reason, and even with a no stalking order, that's not enough. In fact, if anyone struggles with mental health to that level that she does, that can exasperate her illness, her behaviors. So it's like, adding fuel to the flame. This is why I stick to porn on the internet. Yeah, okay, Black Eagle. Get my channel taken down. No, so I would like Miss Noodle Mash to address this, not in 15 hours. How about in 15 minutes? Okay. Can you believe it? Mrs. Portland is in jail. In jail. In jail. And I hope they have her. They're watching her 24/7. I hope they are watching her 24/7, because this is not good. This is not good for someone with her state of mind to be in a jail, not in a healthcare facility, in a jail. I can't even say what I'm thinking. Portland's lets everyone out of jail, but put Mrs. Portland in jail. Portland lets everyone out of jail, I don't understand that. Let me see. Look at, I'm not saying Mrs. Portland's right with her behaviors. Okay, it's disgusting. It is absolutely disgusting. But when you keep reacting to somebody like that, all I can ask you is, how's it going? How's it working for you defending yourself when it goes on and on and on every single night? This dialogue, and you know, you may not be as nasty back, but you speak about bullying and behaviors, but you're not mentioning her name. But we all know what you're talking about. And so does she. And she feels defeated, absolutely defeated. And no matter what she says in her mind, she thinks, well, if I call them the CUNT, if I threaten them, she wants to make it stop. And that's how she deals with it, by throwing out verbal threats. Because her brain does not function on the same level as someone else's brain. I don't know, Trish. I don't know. All I can think of, unless Mrs. Portland, and this is a Hail Mary card, but Mrs. Portland did something so atrocious and like went after them with a weapon. Okay, I can see that. But she's charged with a misdemeanor, I think. I would think if it's a weapons charge, it would be a felony. Anyone who is that easily set off will always find someone online that will get them riled. If not Noodle Mash, then someone else. Right. We can't protect every vulnerable person on this platform, especially from death. Stay off social media. Hey, Willow, good to see you. Yeah, but we can only control what we can. And again, Noodle Mash just. When I hear people, keep saying, I need to defend myself, I get it. But for how long? For how long? You have to get to a point where you know your truth, right? And your truth should be enough. Because after a while, when you do this every single day, you start losing something called integrity. You know? And at our ages, whether it be 30s, 40s, especially 50s, 60s, I don't know how old Noodle Mash is, maybe in her 50s. I just can't see doing this every single day. For what purpose? If you know your truth, that should be enough. Enough is enough. But it just didn't stop. It's punching down, in my opinion. Yeah. Hey, Kelly Belly. So done with it. You're correct, Peggy. Mrs. P has done this before. She's actually smarter than people think. Maybe. I don't, maybe, but with the syndrome she has, and I don't want to get into it because I don't want to violate, her medical whatever. She may appear smart in some aspect, but behaviorally, she can't regulate her emotions. She can't. I don't, Peggy, I feel sorry for, I feel sorry that the system put her in jail. We have a failed system. I've worked in the mental health system for a long time. The system failed her. She doesn't belong in jail. I've worked in jails. I've worked in prisons as well. That's not a place to put somebody for the long weekend with no psychiatrist. This is a jail. No psychiatrist, no one to evaluate her, to get her on maybe proper medications, nobody to control her behavior, acute behavior, whatever she might be going through. Who knows if she's that bad that she just wants to say, "I'm done. Goodbye, world." How many times have we heard people doing this in jail? Yeah, she needs mental. Yeah, I'm not condoning. Look at Mrs. P is disgusting. Some of the things that have come out of her mouth is shocking, shocking. And again, I look at it as that's all she knows how to do as far as a reaction. She's going to go hard. She's going to go awful because she wants, I believe, um, that she too wants to defend herself, but she just doesn't have the capacity to do it. And working in mental health, I can't tell you how frustrating it is when you try to look at a patient and think, this is so easy. Why can't you just understand? It's so frustrating. But when the brain acts the way it does, we truly there are a lot of things we cannot change. And that's when real professionals like psychiatrists, medications come in. Um, those people have to be more in a controlled environment for treatment. Yeah, Willow. Right. Why? Why couldn't she be ignored? I would tell I would tell Robbie that. Robbie, ignore her. Ignore her. And Robbie wanted, felt bad for her and thought maybe if he befriended her again after the first falling out, that hopefully she would change, that love in the community would be enough for her. We all thought that, right? We all had hope that, maybe she feels left out, bullied, um, but maybe if she had a sense of belonging to a community or even to one person, and it would work for a little bit, right? But it would just take one person to say one thing, and she would react badly, badly. Yeah, Trish, I've worked in prisons. Believe me, it happens. It happens, especially people are more vulnerable in jails. Okay, jails are very transient. By the time a person gets to prison, they've already been in jail. They've acclimated. Okay, they're awaiting trial, and once they're convicted, they go to a prison. They're assigned a prison. So jails um, are where people are very vulnerable and have to be watched, and they are understaffed. You could have cameras in their room, and you always don't have someone there 24/7 at the camera. It might just be even 5 minutes someone has to leave to use the restroom, and they don't have the staff to cover him for 5 minutes. Oh, it'll just be for 5 minutes, and they come back, and the worst case scenario occurs. Look at, I'll be honest with you, I worked in the prison where, what's his name? My God, I can't think. The football, Aaron Hernandez. Um, was at that prison. Nobody was watching him, and he was on suicide watch. Nobody was watching him. A lot of the correctional officers get comfortable, especially if they've been there a long time. They get comfortable with their jobs. They think that nothing can happen bad. They get way too comfortable, and he took his life. He took his life, Aaron Hernandez. He waited for that moment when he knew nobody would be there watching him. And Took advantage of that opportunity. With all the flip-flopping and drama community, Mrs. Portland will never find a place here. Yeah, Peggy, I agree. And I'm disappointed with her husband, like Mrs. Portland's husband, that he allows this. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. So there must be something wrong with him, I guess. So I thought, okay, so Noodle Mash didn't get a protection order. She got a no stalking order because I thought once you get a protective order, it goes both ways, that neither party can interact with each other. So apparently, if you have a no stalking order, you can still talk about them. That's tough. That's tough. So you got an order against somebody, you're in control, you go online, and every night you're talking and talking and talking about bullies and bullies and bullies and bullies, and we all know who you're talking about. And you can say, "Oh, I'm not mentioning her name." We all know who you're referring to. Right, Trish? Yeah, they are very creative. Yeah, I've never worked in a youth institution. Oh, wait a minute, I did. For a short time. It was like a high school for troubled kids, and I did, and I remember one kid coming in, he had to take a drug test. He failed the first one for marijuana, so the school gave him 30 days to take another drug test, and if he was clean, he'd be okay. He comes in, and he says to me, "I heard I just worked out on a treadmill. I heard if you sweat a lot, you'll pass the drug test." This kid was like 15. And I looked at him, I said, "No, no, 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 you get it wrong. If you drink your own urine, you'll pass the drug test." I was joking, right? He believed me. He's like, "Really?" I go, "Oh, yeah, yeah, drink your urine." And he was ready to go into the bathroom and do it. Of course, I stopped him. He flunked the test and he got kicked out. And what we do is we call the police right away and they escort them off the property. You think her husband has challenges too? They both need to be off the internet. I agree. I agree. It was yeah, I worked at a Job Corps. It was called Job Corps. It was a school for troubled kids. And they all lived there at the school. I was there for like maybe 2 months. It was a temp job I had years ago. Noodle Mash took great pleasure telling everyone she can talk about Mrs. P. The order only went only went one went totally inappropriate, narcissistic. Yeah, I couldn't watch Noodle Mash after a while. I didn't even stay in her streams the whole time. She just to me was very condescending, and it was at the point where you got to stop. You got to stop. And I knew if I said something in chat or emailed her with mindfulness, I'd be hated. I'd be blocked, because if you don't have the same opinion as another person, you're blocked. We see that a lot in chats. "Well, I don't agree with you." Bye. You're blocked. We see it all the time. So I just stayed quiet. You've not seen evidence that Noodle Match is dirty deleting. Someone said she did, but I don't see evidence of it. Oh, what? Someone said she was wiping out her live streams? So what do you think? when she goes live in 15 hours, what do you think her excuse is going to be to justify Mrs. Portland going to jail? Because she's being charged with a misdemeanor, right? So if worst case scenario, if Mrs. Portland went after her with a weapon, that would be a felony. And let me, I took a snapshot. Charge violation of court stalking protection order, one misdemeanor. She was arrested on May 27th. Was that Friday? Height 5 feet. Well, she's a little bit of a thing. Yeah, misdemeanor. So I wonder what was it? It was Saturday. Thanks, Peggy. Oh, Saturday. Yeah. Trish, they used to. I haven't. I don't watch Noodle Mash anymore. I couldn't handle. I just couldn't. Um, One of them moved. I think it was. I don't want to say because I'm not sure, but one of them moved. So they live in the same county, I think, but not in the same apartment complex. And today's a holiday. So Mrs. Portland will be in jail until at least tomorrow. And maybe they'll just let her out on her own recognizance, personal recognizance. Let's see what violating a stalking order penalty. Oh, oh, that's a restraining order. Oh, jail sentence of up to 6 months and a fine of $500 or 1% of your annual gross income, whichever is more. It's a misdemeanor. So she could be facing 6 months in jail. Mrs. P doesn't drive. Yeah, they used to live in the same complex, but they got along then, huh? Yeah, Willow, I agree. I've never been stalked, but it was just, probably just the everyday kind of thing. And I've been around creators that just don't know when to quit. They're not even in the same county. Okay. They live 1.5 hours from each other. So, how hard is it to go live and talk about something else? Do you know if I wanted to, I could go live every night and talk shit about some people every single night, but I don't choose to. Why? Because it doesn't get anywhere. It makes things worse. And I've had situations where I don't even bother defending myself anymore. For what? For what? I know my truth. I've lost subs over one-sided stories. So what? Bye, let them go. But apparently Noodle Mash thrives on that. I mean, it seems to me she enjoys getting people riled up, like Mrs. Portland. Maybe she wanted her to go to jail. Person doesn't have to drive to be a danger. If you incite others to hurt someone, you can get an order against you and be charged. That's true, Levacy. She can get more charges in jail. That is true. But I'm thinking where it's the weekend that there isn't mental health available, not in a jail, even in a prison. It's not like you can call a psychiatrist to come in. It doesn't work that way. And if she's really out of control, what they do is in jail, they don't sedate you. They put you in a harness. I think it's a 5-point harness. And I've seen it happen. I saw a mentally ill guy, young kid, be harnessed, stripped naked, harnessed. And then this team comes in. It looks like a SWAT team. I forget what they call them. And they have the helmets on, the protective gear, and they've got these weapons with rubber bullets. And they shot at him. And because he was hiding a razor blade inside of him, and he wouldn't forfeit it. I was like the second person to approach him before this happened. After he did this, but before he got in the harness. And I started a dialogue with him. And this is all on recording because when they do this, they also have it recorded, right? There's a CO, correctional officer, with a camera, okay? Like a video camera, not a cell phone. It's a camera, like the old fashioned ones. And like the Sony handheld video recorder. So I started a dialogue with him, and he was saying his stomach hurt. So I was saying, okay, let's talk about this. I'm sorry your stomach hurts. And, I really felt that we could start a dialogue. He would retrieve the razor himself. But nope, nope. Sergeant comes in, and it was like no dialogue. It's not sit down, let's talk about it in jail. These guys came in with the protective gear, rubber bullets. They maced him. They shot bullets at him because he wouldn't give up the razor. And they put him in a 5-point harness. She's in a suicide. Yeah, those are turtle suits. Yeah, how do you know? They will if somebody even mentions or that they don't want to live, or if they're out of control, they will put them in a turtle suit. But that doesn't stop someone from smashing their head against a wall. It doesn't stop somebody from picking a piece of rust off the bottom of a jail cell door and cutting themselves up. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot working in the correction system, and it's far from corrections. They go to the infirmary for sedation. Maybe in a prison, but I think with jails, it's so transient that they don't, not here in Massachusetts, they don't have the system set up like that. If they're that out of control in a jail, Um, they're sent out to the emergency room, but that's the last resort. It's not like, oh, with that guy that they did that to with the rubber bullets and the mace. Yeah, why didn't they send him to the ER in the first place? No, they waited till they physically abused him, um, till he surrendered, till he was defeated. And then they threw him in the hole. And I had to go there to give him a medication. And there was blood all over the place. And that's when he took a tiny piece of rust off a metal door, paint. It was rusted, and cut himself all up. It was awful. And then a week later, I resigned. Couldn't take it anymore. I could not watch this anymore. Peggy, your husband's a correction officer. Oh my God. I bet. How does he handle it? I know I've had patients who are COs. Their level of stress is unbelievable. I give him a lot of credit. Look at Mrs. P hate channels that support Noodle Mash. Oh, there's hate. That's right, there is. How many channels are there? Oh, he's retiring in November. Good for him. Kelly, thank you. Good night, honey. Thanks for coming. Noodle Mash, are you watching? Take a link. I'm not gonna yell at you. And people know that's not my name. I can't yell. I said before I came on, I'm gonna scream my head off. I'm gonna tell her off. I can't do that, but let's talk. Right. She should. I agree, Teresa. Absolutely. She should have left her alone. What's the point? The internet is the world. Hey, Oxyopia. What's the point? How is it working for you, Noodle Mash? How is it working? It wasn't for Mrs. P's benefit. It was for your benefit. Because you come off sounding so confident and so righteous, right? Correct? And so sure of yourself, confident. What was the point of going public? You made it clear month after month after month who you are, that you're not this type of person. That was enough. You should have let it go. Would it have stopped Mrs. P? I don't know. I don't know, but I think I truly believe, based on my experience, that addressing somebody with the challenges that she has and talking about this shit day after day after day made it worse for her. Because I've seen her behaviors escalate over a period of time. Got worse and worse and worse. Right, right, Peggy. I think something like this didn't need to be publicized. It's embarrassing, first of all. It's embarrassing. If I had to really think about it, I'd say when you do that to somebody, I don't know, it just on on the level that she did it, Mrs. Portland probably felt like her privacy was truly invaded. Truly. Where in her mind, everybody knew her private life. When if Noodle Mash just kept it a secret, like, I don't get why she had to go public with it. Going by what Noodle Mash has been saying, Portland has been waiting to be served to go back to court. Noodle Mash raised funds again, and then boom, Mrs. Portland is arrested on the long weekend. What is she raising funds for? For what? A lawyer? I would think like a restraining order, no stalking order. If it's violated, what the hell do you need a lawyer for? The police found probable cause to arrest her, so why do you need a lawyer? You don't need a lawyer for that. You just go in, the judge sees the police report, there's probable cause of why she was arrested. What the hell do you need a lawyer for? Hey, Lily Rose, how are you? She doesn't need an attorney. Is that what she raised funds for? A lawyer? Okay. I don't know. I just think Noodle Mash in this stalking order, she wears it like a badge of honor. And it's really sad. It's really sad. Yeah, big mess. So again, Mrs. Noodle Mash has alive in 15 hours. Actual truth of what has happened this weekend. The actual truth. 15 hours. Well, the internet is lit up tonight. It's lit up, Noodle Mash. I don't think your live is going to go very well. I hope you got your mods in place tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'll be working, so I won't be able to attend your live. But I hope you get your mods ready and wrenched up because you're going to have a crowd in there tomorrow. And I would think twice. I always say sleep on it, okay, before you go live and ask yourself, is this worth it? Is it worth going live? And whatever excuse you have, do you think it's really going to fly? Just think about it, sleep on it. Because the consensus out there is you're not very liked right now, Noodle Mash, by throwing a mentally disabled and physically disabled. And yes, a lot of people are disabled, but Mrs. Portland has great challenges, which um, that she was born with, that was not in her control. And she has a diagnosis that is um, very complicated. So I don't know if she's looked up Mrs. Portland's um, diagnosis. I'm not going to talk about it online, but maybe a little education um, would have helped Noodle Mash and some tolerance. And sometimes when you can't fix something, okay, you've got to walk away. You got to walk away. But going after her or making this an issue, it's like your content all the time now on your channel. And now it's crafting while talking about it. No, no. She was abandoned by her mother as a young child. Really? That's awful. I didn't know that. Hey, Jason, you're up this late? Jason, didn't I tell you to stop coming in my live and announcing lives? When are you, right now? Or plugging in for your channel? What's the matter with you? Don't you have to go to work in the morning? Her CP right now is interesting. What's CP? Mrs. P's in jail. You violated her on the PPO after responding to every word instead of documenting like a normal victim. Mm. They mock Mrs. P losing her son into care system at 9 months old, yet clutch pearls when Mrs. P says foul things back about hers. Shows her deleting her videos. Hold on. Okay, let's look at the titles. Threat against myself and my entire family. This was 4 days ago. I had sent them a cease and desist letter to direct them to stop lying about me. They continued, so I made clear that I would be filing a defamation suit. Hold on, let me disconnect. So if you're going to threaten me, I can threaten right back. So just know that be forewarned. I am going to find you and I'm going to rip you apart like a wishbone. So just be forewarned. If you want to legally threaten me, I'll come after your ass. And I have already emailed all my court documents from here, from the county website from here, over to my friend, and she will be taking them over to her attorney on first thing Monday morning. So I have help fighting against you. So just know that me and my private friend and Extinctube and Tits Up, we're going to keep attacking you for every time that you come at me and attack me. That's why all the hate videos and all the live streams are being done about you is because of the fact that you refuse to leave me alone. So just know, if you don't start backing off, the more we're going to come at you. That's no. So why is it that Noodle Mash can go after her, but she can't go after Noodle Mash? I don't get it. So you have a stalking order, no stalking order against somebody, but you're stalking her every day on the internet by talking about her. And you can't say, well, I don't mention her name. We know you're talking about her. Is that how you get around this? And she has said, stop talking about me. Now, the threat of going after and tearing you apart like a wishbone, no, that's not right. But again, it has escalated to the point where I think if this stopped a long time ago and never went public, I think we would have a different outcome. Victims don't monetize. I think for every donation she gets, it should go to the victim fund thing in courts. You know how they have victim advocates? The courts do take donations, by the way. So I think it should go to the victim funds for like women who are battered, who are homeless, who have to go to shelters. That's what I think. That's a very old video. Really? She put up an old video? That's a promise. So be forewarned. You messed with the wrong bitch this time. Oh my God, I can't stand that typing she puts in. Oh yeah, before the stalking order. Oh yeah, so you're right. She's putting up videos that were from months ago. So you got a no stalking order. So why are you going back in time to rehash this? Okay, so they made it clear they know where I live. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. These next two. It's like here, if you get a PPO order or stalking order, you can't mess with them. Right, Teresa? Exactly. But they can mess with you. So Noodle Mash turning in old stuff to get Mrs. P in trouble. I'm not sure. It's like poking the bear. It's exactly like poking the bear. Poke, 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 poke. They claim not to live in the US. This is one of Mrs. P's friends, but who knows? Okay, so she's thinking, she's got this all in her mind, you know. I don't know. Anybody want to come up? Invite and talk about this? Copy, paste. Forgot what paste is. Thanks, Trish. Thanks for coming. Mrs. P posted 2 threatening videos yesterday that got her in trouble, but YouTube removed them. Okay. I just don't think all of this has to be made public. I don't. Because the fact that Mrs. P's in jail, believe me, the internet is lit, and you can't control people's feelings or their opinions, right? Right? And being on YouTube for a long time, people get pissed off. And anybody out there, do not go real on anybody because you don't like them. Don't do that. But unfortunately, people do it. They do it. And I just hope Noodle Mash is prepared for the backlash, because I know she struggles with some mental health issues herself, and you got to have skin, thick skin for the backlash. There was just no reason for her to go on every single day about this, every single day. And look at, I've been guilty of it. I hooked up with a creator that went live every night talking about another creator, but it didn't go in this direction as far as throwing somebody in jail or, and I was misled. I learned my lesson. And I feel bad. There's part of me that does feel bad. But I always say we can do better, and I'm trying to do better, but I would not take it to this point. Where if I had myself, and I have had taken legal action against somebody a few years ago and did not go public about it or discussed it. I did discuss it with a person I thought I trusted, and they ended up turning against me and calling me a liar. But I consider the source now. But there are just some things you don't go public about. You don't. We've all seen or heard people say same or worse, go back and forth. Else the whole sector would be in jail. That's right. We'd be in YouTube jail. All of us. They'd have to build another addition to house us all, right? Yeah, I'm okay, Jason. How are you? I had a nice week. Did you guys have a nice weekend? I did. I went away. I was off this weekend, but I have to work tomorrow. But it was very nice. It was hot out today, though. But tomorrow's going to be cooler. It's going to be like 70. Um, but I was near the ocean, so it wasn't too bad. Does anyone want to come up? I can't get it out of my head, like what Mrs. P is thinking right now. The best case scenario is they shipped her out to the ER. That's the best case scenario that I'm wishing for. That she's in an environment that isn't as threatening and scary. I don't think she can handle I don't think any of us can handle a day and a night in jail. Noodle Mass took it public to hurt her more. I think so, yes. No, it's not. I'm so done with it, I agree. It's not. It's conquer and divide. It's hard to trust people anymore, you know? I have a hard time trusting people anymore. I thought the first time I went through betrayal, I learned my lesson. Sure enough, I go through it again, a second time. And I had my guard up the second time. Nope, wasn't good enough. So, and do I defend myself or speak about it? No, it's not worth it. Just learn your lesson, move on, and try to do better the next time. I do too, Peggy. I think this is gonna come back on Noodle Mash in a way that um, I just have a feeling she is, what's the word for it? That she feels so justified and so right about this. And you know what? She may. She very well may. But again, to do this publicly with a person as disabled as Mrs. P is, um, that hurts me because I know the challenges that she has. Um, and I know that when someone is born with these challenges and have considered a injury, um, if you think something is easy, oh, just go in and get a no stalking order is going to fix it. It takes a lot more than that. And I hope she doesn't do anything, Mrs. P, because that will be a heavy burden for Noodle Mash to bear. That will be an extremely heavy burden for her to bear. Can you imagine? It's too easy and immoral to go after the weak. That's true, Jay. That's a good point. It's a very good point. She's definitely going to go down in YouTube history books for this. Too bad the person in jail is so tiny and obviously not a fair fight. Yeah. A friend of mine and I talk all the time about that stuff that's going on YouTube, and eventually I hope and pray it doesn't, it don't, someone's really gonna, I see what you mean, gonna get hurt really bad. Right. We all say that, right? That we hope someone doesn't harm themselves. Um, we don't wish that on anybody. Anybody. You don't think Noodle Mash will care? She might not. You're right. She might not. There's something about her, and I keep using the word condescending, but there's something more about her that just, I don't know, doesn't sit right with me. Um, I mean, she tries to play, the good person with everybody, right? But when it came to Mrs. Portland, I don't know. She just had a way, yeah, condescending, I guess that's the word. She's a power trip and she's very cunning and calculated. Yes. Mrs. P has zero impulse control, so easy to trigger if you refuse to ignore. Yes, and we've all seen her react. So what do? You know, you change, if you can't change someone else's behavior, you change your own, right? Around people like that. I, I, s- uh, I remember I had a patient, and this was recent, that actually had a private aide in their room because he was difficult. Um, And every time I'd walk by the room, I'd hear this bickering going on. And knowing the challenges this guy had, he would snap at his private caretaker and say, "Oh, I told you, don't do this, don't touch me, don't." And then the private caretaker would be like, it was a guy, and he'd be like, "I didn't do that to you. Why do you say things like that aren't true?" And he kept going on and on. And I looked at him and I made the motion like to zip the lip. I said, don't ignore it. Don't respond to him because you're not going to get anywhere with him. You're not going to win this. Okay. And you were going to escalate and this guy kept blah, blah, but he. And every time this caretaker would come, they had one during the day, and I would only see her for like an hour. But the second person that came was on the evening shift. And but the first caregiver, not a problem. She was quiet, didn't react. But when he would come in, it would you could hear screaming coming out of that room. So you think middle noodle mash is eating this up. I think she's loving it. And to be honest, in my opinion, in Miss Portland, she ain't gonna go hurt nobody. She likes to run around a little bit. Yeah. I I I have a hard time seeing people in that light. I really do. Because I always want to see the best in people, right? And and then reality hits and like a comment like yours, Teresa, that some people enjoy this kind of stuff. They enjoy inciting harm and getting people riled up. I don't know what Noodle Mash's intent is, but just the fact there are people that do enjoy this. It's a power trip. Yeah, someone mentioned earlier power trip. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there are really bad people in this world. No, she's not going to physically hurt anyone. She's 5 feet. She's tiny. I think I woke somebody up. Good point, Jamie. Mrs. P was born that way. Noodle Mash chose to do this ugly thing. I think, Noodle Mash would have benefited from some education on the disability that um, Mrs. Portland has. And look at, I'm not saying, believe me, Mrs. Portland, some of the things that came out of her mouth were appalling, absolutely appalling. And what did I do? I didn't respond. I could have gone live. I could have joined Robbie's live or any stream or you couldn't comment on Mrs. Portland's channel because she had those blocked, which I'm sure made people even angrier because they couldn't respond. Um, I could have gone over to the clip channels, but no. I'm like, someone like her, just leave her alone. Leave her alone. Let her cool down. What about pointing fingers at her family, husband, social workers, law enforcement, and counselors? She has needed help for a long time. Only people close to her can help her. True, true. Yeah. I used to wonder, like, why isn't her husband doing anything? But maybe he's got issues too. But jail is not the way. I'm surprised because police officers have controlled, they have the legal right to section somebody to a hospital. Um, and it's too bad that she wasn't sectioned to a hospital. Maybe she was after that. Maybe she is. But according to the record that I see here, she was arrested. So if you section somebody, they're not arrested. There's a section to the hospital, and they go right to the ER. You think Robbie obsessed with her? I don't know, Denise. I think Robbie really felt bad and really thought he could change her. That if a community surrounded her and accepted her, that her behaviors would stop. So I think his intent was good. He likes the drama and encourages her. I don't know. I didn't see it that way. But I didn't watch all the live streams either. But I didn't. If Mrs. Portland was on anyone's live stream, it was like, oh God, but she clearly had issues. People really need to stop picking up people who clearly have mental issues, right? Yeah, stay away. A lot of people come in with mental health issues. A lot of people. And what a perfect place because there's no consequences, right, to your actions usually, but not in this case. Yeah, Teresa, I believe Mrs. P is harmless. Yeah. Oh, you were talking about her husband. Okay. Right, Willow. Right. You walk away. Her husband likes. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I understand. Not Robbie. Well, maybe this is the wake up call Mrs. P needs, but again, unfortunately, she didn't deserve to be thrown in jail because I've worked in the jails, I've worked in the prisons. And when it comes to mental health, that's not the place you put somebody. It just isn't. But unfortunately, it's the reality. It's the reality. And she's going to be traumatized by that. She will be traumatized. A mugshot, a weekend in jail. She will be traumatized. The handcuffs, she will be traumatized. So now she has to deal with that trauma. I just think if she was sectioned to a hospital, it would have been a lot easier all around. Yeah, Willow. Yeah, it won't help her. Right, it won't. That's why I hope that once she got into jail, I really hope that they sent her out. But it's not that easy in jail to just, oh, they're out of control. Let's send them again. They'll put her in a turtle suit. They might restrain her in a 5-point harness. It's a chair. It looks like a school chair, you know, with a harness on it, 5-point harness, crosses over your chest. It locks you in, and then it's got down at your ankles. You're tied in. It's a restraint. Um, and they will put people in that with the idea of they will calm down. So, hey, Jason.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I just want to come up here and just talk to you a little bit. I missed you. I
I
haven't
miss
talked
you
to you in a while.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're always a nice girl.
What?
You're always a nice girl and fun to talk to.
Oh, thank you. Do you know
Yeah.
Mrs. Portland, Jason?
I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to learn that more people in the community and stuff. But who is that person?
Mrs. Portland?
Yeah.
the person we've been talking about, she's just been fighting with another creator.
Oh
They
no.
grew up together, they went to high school together,
Yeah.
they have a long history, they lived in the same apartment complex, and then it spilled over onto social
Oh
media.
no. Oh no.
Yeah, and Mrs. Portland was born with physical and mental disabilities. Um, you can tell just by even looking at her that she has some facial deformities, and she's got
Oh wow.
challenges, and she's overcome a lot. I would think, but she's been fighting with another creator, Noodle Mash, and Noodle
Oh,
Mash has been making every detail because Haley, she went to court
highly.
and got her a no stalking order, which I still don't know what the difference that is, if that's the same thing as a PPO.
I don't know.
Because if you get an order, I know here in my state, it goes both ways. You can't interact. Either one of the parties cannot interact with each other, but Noodle Mash, well, she hasn't mentioned her name. So maybe she's trying to like go around it. Well, I'm not talking about her. I'm just talking about the topic of bullying.
No.
But we all know who she's talking about.
Mm.
So
That's crazy though.
things get out of hand.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jamie too. I let go easy, easy. One and done. That's it. I let go very and I think that comes with age too. I think the older you get, you're like you just don't want to put up with the bullshit anymore. It's
Yeah.
easier to let go. It really is. So I
Mm.
can understand like people in their 30s, even 40s who hold on to, that kind of drama to the level of hate.
Yeah.
But when you get older, it's like, nah, no.
It's tough though. I mean, it just people just get fixed in their ways and stuff. I didn't want you to think I was plugging my channel. I just wanted to tell you what I was doing. That's all. I was having fun.
Yeah. All right.
That's all. But I mean, I just wish you well. I mean, I hope you have a nice Memorial Day tomorrow. I'm not gonna be doing anything. I had a 5-day weekend.
Nice, nice. I'm working tomorrow. I was off the weekend.
Oh, okay.
It was nice. I went away for a couple of days.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and but I'm working tomorrow, so
Mhm.
but
I
that's
haven't seen,
okay.
yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, so I assume you've been keeping away from all the messed up stuff, or you just watch different lives, or hi
You
Lee.
know, I'm not on YouTube
Mm.
as much. It just
It's too much. I know.
it is.
Mm.
It's to the point, and I love my subs. I miss them, but between my schedule and
Yeah,
then it's kind of hard because it's almost like I want a place to go on YouTube
yeah,
that feels good, and um, I don't know. I think the more it goes on, I do get anxiety from it,
yeah.
and when you're on it for as long as we have been,
Yeah,
and it hasn't stopped, and it gets worse and worse and worse, you get to a point where you're just like, I can't do this
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. I know. Well, I mean, while Lee was on one of my lives and stuff like that, and I was saying like, if you want to party, you're always welcome on my channel too. If you don't
Thank
want to,
you.
of course.
Yes,
You're
I think
great.
I watched your live replay when Lee was on it.
Yeah, I think we did pretty good. I mean, I try to keep a kind of a mellow live stream and stuff like that. Went over 8 hours, but that was cool.
Wow.
That might be it for a while. I mean, till I find out what my schedule is for next weekend. I reached my StreamYard limit of 20 hours, so I have to switch emails or something.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't have to do anything for a couple of days after that. I mean, because I don't feel like going live tomorrow because I have to go back to work Tuesday. So I try to. I mean, because a lot of times I get invested in stuff, I end up staying up way later than I should. I remember talking to Spoof.
Mhm.
Spoof feels the same way. She stayed up way later, and then she like, oh God, why did I stay up so late? You just get
Right.
invested on
Yeah.
drama. You don't sleep like you should. Oh, I'm
No.
glad you had fun. See, it's weird because I went to highlight her comment and I had the mic live. Have you done that before, Pink?
I've done what?
I mean, if you're on someone's panel, right, and you see a comment you like, you almost want to press it to highlight it. If you're on the StreamYard side, and you remember it's not your live.
No, I've never done that.
Oh yeah, 'cause I
Can't
saw
say I
Lee.
have, not yet.
Yeah, I see Lee say thank you. Oh, I highlight that. Oh, wait a second, it's not my
Yeah,
live.
Lee's nice.
I
How
usually
about
go
you,
on the
Lee?
StreamYard.
Right, Jay may overdose on the toxicity. So many assholes. Yeah, and it gets nowhere. I just wanna say to everybody, "How's it working for you?" You know? Like,
Yeah,
if it's just a matter of and you hear, "Well, I have a right to defend myself." Yeah, but for
yeah,
how long? At some point, you've gotta know that your subscribers know and support you for who you are.
yeah,
Is that not good enough? It's this incessive need to wanna be heard, and people exposing every aspect of their life, and it's just like, for
yeah,
what? It gets nowhere. If it meant there was change and people really listened and rekindled and really were sorry and behaviors did change, I'd say, "Hey, go for it." But it doesn't. It just causes more divide. You have a falling out with a friend, and then you both lose subs,
yeah,
and
mm,
then you feel uncomfortable going I'm uncomfortable going in a lot of live streams because there are people there who've hurt me,
mm,
and I'll admit it, I don't have thick enough skin to put up with it anymore. You would think the longer you're on YouTube, the more thicker your skin would become.
yeah,
Mine's become thinner.
mm,
I just don't have the stamina anymore for it.
wow. But
But
you
why
always,
would I wanna go to a live stream and then just be told off when I'm just
yeah, I
there to
am,
say hi
yeah.
to somebody, you know?
Because sometimes I just go there to say hi to certain people I like, or if you know the person whose live it is too, it's kind of cool that way too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Gilmore. I know I get close to a lot of people that I consider close friend. I have feelings for him, like I have feelings for Pink. I think she's wonderful. We became close friends.
we did, long
Yeah,
time ago.
yeah, it was great. I mean, through Rita. And I mean, Rita wanted to go live last day, but I was at my buddy John's, so I wasn't able to.
Yeah,
Well, we went live twice last week. It was cool.
and, I work a lot too, so
Yeah.
I don't get a chance to go in readers, but I know one night I popped in, I didn't say anything, and there were people in there that have hurt me,
Oh,
and
really? I'm sorry.
and that's the situation. I feel bad
Oh,
because
okay.
I literally don't have the stamina anymore to put
Yeah.
up with nonsense like that, um, and it sucks because there's so many people out there I do care about,
Mm.
and I think a lot of people feel that way too. They don't know where to go
Yeah.
anymore because there's so much divide, and every time there's a fight, or a falling out between 2 people, it creates another divide.
Well, my problem is a lot of times the people that fight are people I like both, And it's like I try to keep I don't want to lose one person to please someone else, so I try to stay loyal to both people, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
still be I mean, but not go on the panel and trash someone else, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Meg, if Mrs. Portland or anybody
Wow.
is that upset and cannot be controlled, um, they will administer sedation. Yeah, not to knock her out, but you know, they give you a shot of something, which there's tons of different medications that can help. So yeah,
Oh,
you see
my
people
niece,
destroying their own lives with
yeah,
childish behavior
yeah,
too.
that's true. Ow.
Right, Jamie. I feel the same way, and I think too, a lot of it comes with age. I think if I was in my 30s, maybe I'd be in the thick of all this shit,
Yeah.
and I've
I
made mistakes on YouTube, and
yeah.
I regretted a lot of things. I can't change what has happened, but I can try to do better, and that's all I can do is do my best, you know?
Exactly. Like, I mean, but you said it was on Rita, so you saw some people. Cause I don't know who that your enemy and who's not for the
I
most
don't
part.
wanna yeah, I'm not gonna mention it
Oh no
because
no 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 no! Don't mention nobody. Don't
yeah,
mention nobody. No 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 no. I know. I'm just saying. I know. Don't mention nobody. Nope.
some people
I
think,
just didn't know. Cause it's just tough. Because I mean, cause you usually like.
"Hello? Am I buffering? Hello? Shit.
Oh, what's wrong? What's wrong, hon?
It was my internet, I
Oh
think. Okay,
oh.
you're back.
Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm like that. Well, I mean, I except I have like 12,000 people subscribers. Yeah, I do have to cut up too. That's what I usually do on my lives.
Well, some people trigger me, you know?
Yeah,
People who have hurt me. I'm a human,
I'm
you
sorry.
know?
I know.
And I'm the type, I'm one and done. It's just
Yeah,
like, you know, um, I don't wanna deal with particular people anymore, and when I say leave me alone,
yeah,
I mean it. Just leave me
yeah.
alone, and I'll
I
leave you
understand.
alone.
Yeah,
Um, that's how it's self-preservation. That's how I deal with it, and, life is too short,
yeah,
and, um, I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, but you're always
And I've
welcome
seen a
over at
lot of
mine.
people get I've seen other people get hurt too, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
just it weighs on you, you know?
I know. It's terrible. Oh, my niece gave birth to um my grandniece to about last week.
Did you see I know you said you were gonna go see her. Did you see her?
Yeah, I saw it Friday. I did like a little video on my short. I'm not plugging my channel, but I'm just saying there's a little video on my shorts. You can see what she looks like.
Yeah. Well,
You know, I mean, it's like, I mean, it's just a
congratulations.
short. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not plugging my channel, but I just want to tell you about that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's all, honey. I love you,
I love you too, Jason.
and you're a good person. But like I said, I met you, and then it's weird though because through meeting you, that's how I met. You know, I told Howie about your channel. That's how Howie found out about. That's when Howie met Pandora. Remember how all that
Oh,
happened?
geez, yeah.
I know, but that's what happened.
Yeah.
It was just
And then
crazy though how
Pandora
things
came
evolved.
over,
Yeah,
conquer and divide,
yeah,
and
yeah.
put me through all that shit that saying,
I know,
I loved Howie in that
I
way where I
know.
wanted,
It
she's
was
just so
crazy though.
gross.
It was
Huh?
just crazy. It was just crazy though because I didn't know who Pandora was. I mean, but it was like, when you had a live stream, was you her?
Pandora's the analyzer for
Yeah,
anybody who
yeah, yeah,
remembers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, then Heidi was on it, and then Casey about the flowers or something like that.
Allegedly,
Allegedly
allegedly.
flowers. Yeah, but
Yeah,
what? Either
yeah.
way, I can't remember who gets in, who what. And then that was a whole big thing, and how it came over, and how we thought it was kind of funny how it went and stuff like that. And I guess he started, you know, emailing Pandora after that. That's all. It's just part of the YouTube history,
Yeah,
though.
and then Pandora got
Yeah,
Howie not to
yeah,
communicate with me. I mean, I heard that, Analyzer
no,
is still up to the same shit she's done from
yeah.
day
She came
one,
back.
except
Yep.
she's not screaming, "I
Yeah,
have cancer,"
yeah.
and I
But she's
haven't
back
got to
now.
scream about it.
But she's back now. She's
She
doing.
never left,
Yeah,
Jason. She
yeah.
never left.
I know.
That's all she does is just get in between people's
Yeah,
relationships
yeah. I know.
and, you know
Yeah. But it's just weird. I mean, that's just part of the evolution. That's how. Uh Well, through I mean, because I didn't know who she was, and then Howie said, "Hey, come on, Pandora Live, Pandora." Like, who's Pandora? I forgot already. You know. Oh shit. Okay, the thing went black. I'm okay. And then like, I met a bunch of people on her panels, and then it seems like those people start fighting with Pandora, and then if I was on their panels, I get Howard would give me hell sometimes.
Well,
It's just
yeah,
weird
and
how that works.
that's
Yeah, yeah,
if you go to any other communities
yeah,
outside of ours,
yeah,
anyone, people you don't even know, and
yeah,
I bumped into those kind of communities, the same stuff goes on, the
yeah,
exact same stuff, and it's the algorithms, you know, and, Google set it up for this, exactly for this, and for people to become addicted and,
yeah,
the drama because it
yeah.
sells and
Oh yeah. It's
yeah.
just, I mean, it's just so strange. So it's just part of the way evolve and stuff. I mean, because Howie didn't care anything about drama. Said, "Why you watch all this stuff, let alone drama?" Because I think Dari sent me a bunch of clips about drama stuff, like Sam Tefler and some other people. And she
Mhm.
sent me clips. That's okay. And I was watching. I was like, and I said, "Boy, I spent a lot of my vacation watching clips." I said, "Why would you care about all this drama stuff for?" And then he got involved in drama eventually too.
Yeah, because he started hanging out with,
Yeah,
Analyzer.
yeah. But I mean, I mean,
It's too bad, it's too bad because, then Howie started putting down women. I mean, it was just like, "What the hell happened to you? You are the company you keep,"
yeah,
but God rest his
yeah,
soul, he's not
yeah.
with us anymore.
I know. I mean, Howard was a good guy. I was really close friends with him.
Alright, whose shift happens? You gotta
Whose
they're
ship
gone.
happens? Oh,
Yeah,
ship happens.
shift happens. Well, if
Oh,
you're gonna come up and I don't know you, you've got to show yourself
oh
in the
wow.
green room. Oh, the stain sheet, yeah, when Analyzer faked a pregnancy. Yeah.
Oh, I heard about that through. Think Spoof was talking about that or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I did a video live stream on
Yeah,
it.
I remember. I
Teresa
remember. Yeah.
yeah, hold on. Teresa wants to know since Noodle Mash got the order, is she allowed to talk on Mrs. P? No, she's not. But she'll say she's not mentioning Mrs. P's name. So she thinks she can talk about the situation in a roundabout way without mentioning names. And you know, who's what she's referring to. So that's sneaky. It's conniving.
Mm,
Yeah, I agree, Jamie. Yeah, rather watch how-to videos and documentaries.
mm. Well, I mean, a lot of times when I do my regular videos and stuff like that, I get the only time I get in trouble is when I go on, I do my lives and go on panels. That's the only time I get in trouble. If you just did like regular videos, you wouldn't have any trouble at all, or almost no trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Usually
even
when
have
I do the
time
panels and stuff,
anymore.
when you get in trouble. Yeah.
I went over to TikTok for a
Really,
while.
TikTok. Yeah,
That place is crazy.
I know it is.
But the good thing with TikTok is if you do a live
Yeah.
and you say anything like if you're mean to anyone or just telling them to stop it, get out, you're banned. TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And some people are banned and they don't even know what they did. They're banned for like a week.
Oh,
And
wow.
but TikTok is crazy. I mean, you talk about people who are hurting.
Yeah.
They set up their cameras and like cry on cue,
Yeah.
whether it's they're missing their loved one that just passed away, and it gets me depressed. I couldn't go in there anymore.
Oh.
And then you
Oh.
got and then people, the e-begging, they just go, "I need money.
Yeah.
I live in my car." I mean, they don't even, like, have a talent. They're just like, "Please, I need money," and there's people in there, like, telling them off, and they're just like they don't care. They're just like,
Yeah.
"I need 10 more dollars. I need," and
Oh,
they
wow.
do this every single day.
Mhm. Yeah, it's true. Oh, I want to answer Lee's question. He said, "Why you're well? First of all, thank you for the compliment. Said I'm a decent looking guy. Why
Yeah,
the
yeah.
avatar? Well, I mean, it's basically I just talk about the band Guar a lot, and I know some people like it, some people don't. I just put my like the Avatar, the lead singer in costume, Otis Urungus or Dave Broggie, who passed away in 2014. It's like my little tribute to him. But he was very creative, though. I mean, it's heavy metal though, but it was pretty cool. It's
Mm.
showing my individuality. 'Cause, I mean, they're kind of an outrageous band and stuff, you know. Yeah.
Teresa, you know her? Well, she can come back up and take the link.
Mm,
She can come up.
mm. But no, I mean that we talk about that band too. I saw the documentary about them too. It's pretty interesting.
You know, I'll tell you when Tina Turner, when I heard she
Yeah.
passed away,
Yeah.
what a sad day.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
He was
still
like,
upset. I'm
I
still
know.
upset. And it's hard because you think of these artists, these music artists as timeless and ageless, you
Yeah.
know?
Like David Bowie. Remember when he passed away?
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just like, wow, they're getting old. You know, it's weird. It's
I
weird,
know.
but I um I went to 3 of Tina's concerts
Yeah.
throughout my lifetime.
Well, cool.
Yeah, and it's just sad. It's just
Yeah.
so sad. But she
Mm.
she said many times, because I'd follow her on social
Yeah.
media and interviews, that she was ready to go. Even before her husband donated his kidney,
Yeah.
she said, "You know, you don't have to. I'm ready to go."
Mm.
And, but he did, and but then, the kidney, her body started rejecting the kidney
Yeah.
this past year or 2.
Oh
So
wow.
she was on dialysis at
Mm,
home.
mm.
Um, so she was in I guess she was dealing with intestinal cancer as
Mm.
well, but she was tired.
Well, I just imagine. Oh, you're welcome, Lee. What was her biggest year was with Mad Max. Remember she was in the movie too, along with singing that big song from that. Remember she was in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome?
Hi,
Then she trained
Jenny.
that We Don't Need a Hero. Yeah. Oh, hi, Jenny.
Mhm.
Yeah. That, I mean, I don't know if you like stuff, Man Mad, but that was a cool movie. I liked it.
Yeah, I saw it. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
But, you
You know,
know, Tina Turner
yeah,
overcame a lot, and she
yeah,
truly
she did.
lived life like she wanted to after she got away from her husband, Ike.
Yeah. I mean, I did
But, you
not
know,
see.
she had a horrible relationship with her mom too. Like,
Oh
her
wow.
mom rejected her as far as your mom raised her, but didn't support her as far as encourage her. Um, Even when Tina became famous,
You know.
her mother still was like, you know, "Well, someone must have helped you." Like, it was almost like her mother was jealous of her,
Oh
you
wow.
know? And then she lost 2 of her children. She had 4 kids. One of them took his life, and the other one had cancer, I believe.
Oh no.
Um,
What was that movie about her any good? That What Love Got to Do with? I never saw it. Angela Bassett playing her.
I saw it years ago when it first came out.
Yeah,
It was good. It was
it's
good.
good. I never seen it.
Yeah.
Hi, Jenny. Watch the movements on stage. I see that Prince emulates. Oh wow. Yeah, but she was always like always out there and stuff, performing and stuff. She did a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent movie. I never seen the movie though. Well, I mean, there's lots of movies that kind of fall through the cracks and stuff. I mean, I don't know what kind of movies you like, Pink.
Well, if you follow Tina Turner, then
Yeah,
most people saw that
yeah,
movie
yeah.
because
I know
I
what you
did. I
mean.
went to her concerts.
Yeah.
Um, God, I think the last concert I went to of hers was in the 90s, but um, it was
Sorry.
a big deal when that movie came out.
Hmm.
I remember it was, if you followed her
Yeah.
especially.
I saw one that was based on a true story. I mean, did you ever hear about Cocaine Bear?
No.
That was about like as a based on a true story, I guess. And they showed like some real footage, like they showed like Tom Brokaw newscast back in like '85. Like some guy, I mean, that's what the movie's about too. I mean, it's a dramatization, but a guy like threw a bunch of like those little duffel bags full with cocaine off this plane, and then it landed in this forest, a wildlife preserve, you know. And this bear got into it and started attacking all these people.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it's part, I mean, for real. I mean, it's part
Is it a true
comedy.
story?
It's a true story. It's part comedy, part horror film type thing.
Yeah.
But you see, like the bear, like knocking his head into the trees, like like he's not having a good day. And then there was funny parts in it too. And it was Ray Liotta's last movie. Ray Liotta was in it.
Wow. What year was that?
It just came out this year.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. I mean, you can check out the trailer if you wanted. I mean, I liked it. I mean, it has bloody parts in it though, but the bear attacking and stuff though. But it's actually really good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, but it's a horror, but it has comedy in it.
Mhm.
Because they did a thing with. Do you ever see The Great Outdoors?
No.
Oh, John Candy. Oh, there's a part where they did tribute to that where the bear, this guy's behind the desk, this door, and the bear comes, breaks the door, and he's on top of the guy. And that's the tribute to The Great Outdoors with John Candy when the bear did that to him.
Hmm. I just read an article in the news
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
I forget what state, maybe Florida. This woman befriended a raccoon and she brought it into like a Petco to have its nails trimmed.
yeah,
And people that worked there or customers that worked there thought it was so cute, and I guess it was very docile and you could hold this raccoon, and
yeah.
customers were kissing the raccoon.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Rosie, and, they ended up euthanizing this raccoon even though it did not they tested it for rabies, and it was negative for rabies,
Okay.
but they euthanized it.
Wow.
No, I think
Just
that's
because
so
they thought it
bad.
could be feral, or just the thought of it being like that, or I mean, it wasn't hostile to anybody. But they can be mean, though. I know raccoons can be mean.
Yeah, you don't wanna befriend a raccoon.
No, 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 no
Or
way,
any
no way.
wildlife animal,
No
because
way.
you just don't know. Yeah, because
No.
their natural instinct and
Yeah,
habitat, they will attack.
yeah,
So, um but yeah, she brought it into like a pet store to have its
yeah.
nails trimmed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild raccoon to me, yeah, I figured. Like, sometimes you'll see them, like, there'll be videos like they might get in someone's cupboard and they try to get them out, like, ooh, that looks
Mm.
dangerous, though. Yeah, that'd be horrible. Mm. What was I gonna ask you? I was gonna ask
Yeah,
you.
and they go after other, like, if you have, like, a small dog or a
Yeah,
cat, they'll
yeah,
go after they'll kill your
I
pets.
know. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Either. Now, I'm surprised someone befriended that. I mean, they just like, what else are mean? Like possums are
Well,
mean,
they're
I think?
scavengers, so they will
Yeah,
come up to you, like, if you have food,
yeah,
they look for food. So, people often think, "Oh, they're friendly, look, it's coming up to me," but they will, they're scavengers, they're looking for food. Um, or if they come up to you, they very well could have rabies,
mm,
they're not thinking straight, so you be
yeah.
very careful.
That's dangerous too. You gotta be really careful.
Mm. Yes, Jenny Barnes, Mrs. P. Portland is in the big house.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was so vulnerable. So again, Noodle Mash, uh, who was the one responsible for getting the protect PPO or no stalking order against
Yeah.
Mrs. Portland, has now achieved getting Mrs. Portland into jail. So
Wow.
I just think there are other ways that this could have been handled.
Yeah, without
Um,
a doubt.
yeah. I'm working tomorrow, so unfortunately, when she goes live to explain the truth, as I will be at work. So
A lot of people went live tonight. I mean, because it's been a while since you did you did a sunset video a couple of days ago. I think that's the last two this one and that one, the last two you did, I think. I could be
Mm,
wrong though. I don't remember. Let's see. Who's that? Let's see.
well, Mrs. Noodle Mash can wrap a bow around this any way she wants to, but
Yeah.
there's no excuse. Again, I just think this could have been handled differently
Yeah.
from the get go. You know, someone like Mrs. Portland, we all knew that she was vulnerable. We all know that she reacts to everything. Um, and the best thing what is to ignore her. But some people just can't. They got to go on and on and on and on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And she's disabled. I mean, of course, Noodle Mash will say the same thing. Well, I'm disabled too, but no, she was born with challenges mentally and physically.
Mm.
So it's pretty low.
Oh, possums. Yeah, I heard possums are mean too. Mm.
Possums freak me out.
Yeah,
Ugh, I don't
yeah.
like them.
Then you found a YouTube creator that has raccoon living in an abandoned home. Wow, you can get
I
hurt
was
on
at my uncle's house in Florida
that.
several years ago,
Yeah,
and he didn't have air conditioning in his house or wasn't on. It was so hot. And I remember sitting out in the front stoop at nighttime, and the outside light was on, but it wasn't bright, bright, bright. And I
yeah.
hear this rustling in the bushes right next to me. And I'm like, oh shit, what is that? And I look over and I see what I think is a cat. And I'm like, oh, here, kitty, 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 kitty. And I'm like, come here, come here, come here. The thing
Yeah.
came out and it was a possum.
Oh
But
no.
once I saw the long snout,
Yeah.
I never ran so fast in my life. I just went right into his
Wow.
house, and like this possum was right next to me, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Oh
And it's
no.
so ugly. Oh
So I'm
wow.
gonna see.
Possum attacked your
Wow.
neighbor's German Shepherd.
Oh no.
Mm, why is she incarcerated? I like that word, incarcerated. Apparently, she violated a no stalking order.
Oh no.
And I think it's the same as a protection order because when I Google no stalking order, PPOs come up. So, so Noodle Mash is going to go live tomorrow night and justify it. Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, my bad.
An intellectual disability can never be fixed. Very sad. They all have kids removed and can't understand why, often live in confusion and sadness forever. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not saying what Mrs. P said. She said some pretty horrible things, threats. I get it. I get it. But I think also we saw it escalate because it just wasn't stopping, you know? I mean, it just wasn't stopping. It was every night Noodle Mash was going live talking about bullying and, you know, playing like, she's the victim. I mean, you're a victim of someone with that kind of disability. That's not a victim. I get it. You want to protect yourself because you don't know what anyone is capable of, but knowing what her um, intellectual disabilities were, I think it could have been handled differently. It would have been nice if the courts, instead of issuing a PPO, maybe
Yeah.
have stipulated her um, to a psychiatrist or to a hospitalization, but the courts don't have time for that either. People come in and out every day and they're just like, this one's doing that. And, you know, I don't think the judges either understand completely what some of these medical diagnoses are either, and just how complex they are. Yes, Mrs. P needs to follow life rules, right? But yeah, you're right. She is a child. Anyone that goes after the challenge have bigger challenges. I agree. I agree. But already, so I'm over on her page and in her live chat for tomorrow. PB and J, not Andrea, writes, "Let Noodle Mash, let me know if you weren't able to grab the live someone did slandering you after it broke what happened. Of course, she made it private, but not before it was recorded." Um, Let me see who that was. I don't know who that was that she's talking to. A lot of people talk about it. Have been talking about it tonight. So I just hope she's safe. I hope Mrs. Portland. Um, it must be scary for someone with her intellectual capacity to be in a jail cell. She's never been arrested before, so um, that's traumatizing for anybody. But can you imagine what it is for her? And what is the answer? Our mental health care system is so broken. It is
Yeah,
so
it is.
broken. And jail is not the answer. And I think the judge should have told the both of them to knock it off on social media. And again, the way I see Noodle Mash addressing it, she would address it, but leave out Mrs. Portland's name and talk about bullying kind of in general, but you knew what the subject matter was. And
Without a doubt.
yeah. So I think Noodle Mash has to take some accountability, some responsibility too for this, because she wouldn't leave it alone on the internet. I mean, can you imagine someone gets a restraining order, a PPO against you, and yet the person who got it against you can still go live?
Yeah, I know.
So, all right. Well, it's 4 o'clock. I have to get up in a couple of hours. My dad taught me not to mess
Yeah.
with maned animals or maned people for that matter. What will Noodle Mash win by doing this? She already lost respect. That's right. There's no prize on YouTube. There's no prize. There's no rainbow or pot of gold at the end of it. It's
Yeah.
not the Amazing Race on YouTube.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody gets hurt.
Yeah, that's the bad.
Everybody loses. They really do.
That's the bad part.
I love you too, Jamie.
I love you, Pink.
I love you, Jason.
You're a sweet girl. I'm glad I came up here to give you show you support.
You did. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I tell you something that happened.
Yes.
Okay, I went to there's some place called Sue Wallabies. I can't remember the exact name. A lemonade. It was like a food truck that just specialized in lemonade, and they're trying to special they had today. There was this was yesterday. It was called Hot Rod. It was a honey jalapeno lemonade. At first, it starts with sweet, and then it hits you with the heat from the pepper and stuff.
Oh,
and
I saw a jalapeno lemonade in a store recently, but I
yeah,
don't remember where.
it was good though. I mean, I told her I'd do food reviews, and she said how much it was, and she's like, I mean, there's different sizes. They get like giant mason jar for $8, but I got like the $4 one, and she said it was on the house because I was doing a review, and I said that's nice of you.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, I put it up. I shared it to on her Facebook. Yeah,
Did
that's
she make it herself?
yeah. I
Oh,
mean, I don't
good.
know exactly. I mean, I saw them. Like, I don't know exactly what they're doing. Like I went in a food truck, but yeah, that she made it herself. Though it was good, and put like a big piece of lemon in there too. Cause it
I
was
like yeah.
like a giant mason jar was like $8, and there was like a 64 ounce was like six, and then like 16 ounce was four. So I got the $4 one. Well, that was cool.
Jenny Barnes, I hope they buy her McDonald's and soda.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, during her interrogation, maybe?
Oh, McDonald's. I like
Yes,
it.
the jail will have a headache. That's why I'm hoping they section her from the jail to the hospital. I really do.
Oh, you would, Jenny? Awesome. It was good though. I mean, I liked it. But I mean, it's just weird because it gets sweet, and then it really hits your throat, the jalapeno, at first and stuff. But it was good though. I liked
I don't like hot things.
it. Well, it's definitely different. Oh, you like ghost peppers and habanero? Oh
Whoa.
no,
You know
Jay
what?
made it.
Trader Joe's sells ghost chips.
Really? I got
Yes.
some ghost chips too. I just tried like Cheetos just had like a smoky ghost pepper cheese puffs, and they're
Oh,
really
wow.
hot too. They're good. I'm not trying to promote my channel, but I do like a lot of spicy stuff, Jay May. That's cool. You like ghost peppers and stuff? Awesome.
Well, you know something? The first time I
Yeah.
bought the ghost chips,
Yeah.
this is stupid, but it was in October. So I thought it had something to do with Halloween.
Oh, well, that's okay. I mean, well,
So I
Dunkin'
came
Donuts.
home and I ate one and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my
I
god."
know. No, they're hot.
I never drank so much water, which wasn't really helping either.
Yeah.
But if anyone has trouble taking in fluids, buy Ghost chips. You'll
Oh wow.
drink and drink and drink
There you
and
go.
drink.
Well, I remember the one thing with that, they did something like that for Halloween. I was never able to find these. Howie did a review on his channel. But I mean, Halloween time at Dunkin' Donuts, they had ghost pepper donuts around Halloween time. And every place I went to, they were always sold out. But Howie found some in this one Dunkin' Donuts that people usually don't go to.
Ghost chips, Rosie, are chips with what? Jalapeno?
Ghost pepper on
Jason?
it. Ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper.
Yeah, ghost pepper is
They're
really hot.
spicy. They're
Yeah.
very spicy. It's like
That's
eating a hot pepper.
Yeah, they're hotter than a habanero. So they're way up there. And those ghost
Jason,
peppers.
do you like Thai food? Jenny asks.
I don't think I've had a lot of Thai food before.
I've had Thai food. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it
that's
a lot.
cool.
It seems much fresher than just regular Chinese food. I
Yeah.
like Thai.
I'm sure I would. I mean, people ask about Indian food, and there's an Indian restaurant close where I live, but it's so expensive though.
Ever
You ever
hear
hear the
the
hot
hot
food?
food phenomenon? No. What
No,
is
I never
that?
heard of that. I never heard of that phenomenon. I know the song. What's that song? Phenomenon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know that song.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah. Man,
Oh,
from
what was that from?
the Muppets. They did the Muppets.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, the Muppets.
Yeah, that's cool. I never had Thai food before.
Phenomenon. Phenomenon.
Make ghosts. Oh, really? Well, I got like there's a place called Movie Dumpster. I found out about them through Kings of Horror, and they did like these homemade hot sauces, and there was like four of them. And then there was the Freddy's Nightmare barbecue sauce, and the guy I contacted a guy, and he said like $5 for a thing of, and it's all like homemade from his garden and stuff. I got all five of those items. He only charged me $25 and included shipping and handling. That's not bad.
No.
And it's all freshly made stuff, and it was pretty good. I mean, I did a gauntlet video trying all five of them. and then I ended up with the ghost peppers and stuff, and that was really hot. The best
Jenny
cuisine in
says
the
to
world.
drink milk, swizzle like you were
Yeah.
wine testing, tiny sip and swizzle and burn
Yep.
is
Burns
gone.
gut. Yep. Sometimes it does go away. I mean, there was one I did like, um, well, there was like a yakisoba final hell fire noodle challenge. I did that. I threw up on camera. The only time it's ever happened because it was so hot. I went to drink something and then all of a sudden I started coughing and oh.
Ugh.
And it didn't sit. I'm not trying to gross you up, Pink. It was like a big block of ramen that's like 365 hot times hotter than Tabasco sauce, and just like it was like bubbling in my stomach, and it
Have
messed
you
me up for like yeah.
have you tried hot pepper jelly?
I think I have before. Yeah, Howie sent me some from this one place. Yeah, somebody be hot too. Yes.
Yeah, I bought one of my coworkers because I've never had it.
Yeah.
She was talking one day about hot pepper jelly, so she did something really nice for me.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
I gave her a little gift with crackers and hot pepper jelly.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
she uses it with she puts it on a cracker. She puts
Yeah.
a layer of cream cheese,
Yeah.
then the hot pepper jelly.
Well, that
And she
sounds
said
good.
that I probably won't try it. I'm
Yeah.
not a big jelly fan anyway, but um, yeah, hot pepper jelly. You should try it.
Oh, really? That's cool. Oh, thank you, Jenny. It does sound. I mean, it was a crazy live. That was a live stream from a long time ago. Yeah, that was really hot. I've done a couple of things that have been really crazy. Live streams and stuff.
You didn't you eat like that hot pepper that comes in the black box?
Yes, that was the one. That was the one chip challenge. You mean?
No, it was a pepper. Came out a couple of years ago. It comes in a black box. It's one pepper.
I don't think I tried
It's
that. I
supposed
did.
to be the hottest pepper in the world.
Oh, I don't think I did that. I did the lollipop that came in a black box. I did that.
Yes, Jenny, jelly as in jam.
Yeah,
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 hot pepper jelly.
yeah. I keep eating that in the brain. Oh yeah, the endorphins. Yes, the natural high. Yep. Yeah, that. I mean, you do get. I mean,
Oh,
sometimes people have like pepper parties where they actually eat like start eating habaneros and eventually they get the natural high from the endorphins and stuff.
and that's the hot food phenomenon.
Something like that. Yeah.
Your tongue thinks you're in pain, so
Yeah.
if I keep eating it, then your brain releases endorphins, a
It's
natural
like a
high.
painkiller. Yeah. A
Wow.
painkiller. Yeah. So you get kind of a high from that too. A
Yeah,
lot
I'll
of times
have to
after
look
the
that up.
yeah. I mean that's a natural painkiller too. And thanks to oh yeah, it's super hot. Yeah. I mean some of those. I mean there's a lot of modest things you get, but those at Walmart they have like a big thing of different hot pepper items for Cheetos, and they had this sweet Carolina pepper one. I had those before; those were really good. And then the smoky ghost pepper's new, but that's really hot. I liked it. Did you know they had flaming hot Mountain Dew?
No,
It was hot and spicy Mountain Dew. I had that too.
that sounds nasty.
It wasn't bad though, but it burned going down. Well, it's just like the jalapeno lemonade, and then they had ghost pepper slushy at Sonic, and that
It
burned
seems
going
like
down.
they're just putting hot pepper in everything now.
I know, it's crazy. Do you know they were putting like chili peppers in with uh chocolate candy bars? Those are good. I've had those before. They have chili infused chocolate.
If anyone goes to Trader Joe's, go to the candy section.
Yeah.
They have the chocolate bars, dark chocolate with pieces of pretzel
Oh yeah.
and nuts.
Oh cool.
If you're not allergic to nuts,
Yeah.
it is so good. I brought a bag to work. I
Yeah.
didn't taste it to share with everyone, and you got good sized bars in there.
Yeah. Oh
And I tasted one, and I ended up taking the bag back and bringing it home. It was so
It
bad.
was
But
that bad?
then I went back and I bought 3 bags and then
Oh,
brought
really?
all 3 to work, yeah.
Oh, well, they had like I know that Reese's peanut butter cups are releasing a whole bunch of different ones. There's ones that have potato chips in it, and that's really good. It might not sound good, but it's really good. So I give it more of a crunch to it and maybe a little bit more of a saltiness to it.
Mm.
I love Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh,
Those are one of
yeah,
my favorites.
there's also sea salt in these
Yes.
chocolate bars, yeah.
Yeah, those are good too. I remember when I got my first COVID shot, I was at the VA hospital and they had like I guess the Girl Scouts gave a whole bunch of cookies away. So I mean they said you take 2 bad box of cookies. You get your shot.
They're
I said, okay.
expensive now, right? Girl Scout
Yeah,
cookies?
yeah.
Rosie, I'm not a fan of pretzels either, but it's so you can't even tell. It's like eating carrot cake and not even knowing carrots are in it.
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
they're not like big chunks of pretzels in it. It's very subtle. It just like adds to that crunch, you know? And I wouldn't have known there were pretzels in it unless I read the label. If you eat chocolate, you have to have potato chips. That's
Yeah.
that's weird.
Well, I mean, I had infused. We are at Daffin's candy store. I mean, because we went to that thing for Crash for Christmas time, and we you go to Daffin, then they have like this like expertly made chocolate. It had like different items in it. Some would have pretzels, or some would have potato chips. Some had hemp seeds in it. They're all pretty good.
Wow, Jenny. Wow. You boil down the apples and caramelized onions and green apples, ginger and chili cooked in tomatoes, lots of sugar.
Wow,
Wow.
that sounds definitely different. That might be good.
What's it called again? Let me scroll up. So, I usually don't go to regular supermarkets, but I
Yeah,
had to.
yeah,
Um, I was getting my dad a case of
yeah,
water,
yeah,
but I happened to walk through the frozen food section and I saw like the Breyers ice cream. And you've heard of shrinkflation, right? So they're
yeah.
making packages.
Yes,
You're paying the same price, but you're getting less amount, and
yeah,
they're even making the packages a little bit smaller. So if you've
yeah.
noticed, like things look smaller, I cannot believe how much smaller the Breyers ice cream box has gotten.
Oh
You
wow.
could tell just by looking at it, and it was like, wow, so expensive now. So
I know
expensive.
it's getting outrageous. And then for cases of pop. Well, I know you said Boston's expensive living, and then I mean, like they said, California, like a half case of pop is like $10.99 now.
For
That's
what?
for a half case of pop.
Oh,
That's
I
what
don't
someone's
drink
telling me in
soda. I have no
California.
idea. Yeah.
Hey man, but do really
I just
wow.
go to Trader Joe's because that just seems like the only place that I don't see a huge difference in
Yeah,
inflation, um, or shrinkflation.
yeah.
So
Well, we don't have a Trader Joe's where I'm at. We have an
I know.
Aldi. Yeah, we don't have. I mean, because we went to Trader Joe's in Ohio. Well, we made like a little bit of pilgrimage right a couple months before COVID came about, and then we went to a Brazilian steakhouse, so that was really cool.
Mm,
No, but I like Trader Joe's.
I love Trader Joe's.
They're pretty good. Well, they said Aldi's is like a different division of Trader Joe's.
I went into Aldi's years ago when they
Yeah,
first opened.
yeah,
You know how first impressions are lasting?
yeah,
I went in there and just the fact that I didn't recognize any of the names, the brand
yeah,
names,
yeah,
I don't know, I just got this sense of it wasn't a good quality of food, and I'm
yeah,
sure it might be,
yeah,
but when you're used to a particular brand,
yeah.
um, and I never shopped there again. But I heard now they do carry some brand name foods,
Yeah. Yeah,
there,
a
but
lot of times
they're a Russian supermarket, right?
they're German. I mean, because I went to the
Is it
I
German? Because if it's
yeah,
Russian, I'd never
I'm
say
pretty
it.
sure it's German. I mean, because I went to, one in Germany. I mean, and then they started coming around, like, where I'm at now, I'd say about 92 or something like that, like, a little while after I got out of the army, but I remember going to one of those and having, like, alcohol and stuff, and then, like, buying, like, different types of, potatoes and stuff. It was good. Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's a German company
Yeah, German, yep.
called Albrecht Discounts,
Yeah,
which is the acronym. Aldi is an acronym.
yeah.
It started in Germany in 1948. No frills, the company stocks virtually all house brand products and offered at very low prices. Um,
And, what we used to do, I mean, they were one of the places I first went to that you have to bag your own groceries and stuff. But what we do is they have, like, you take your groceries over, and there's like a big table at the end of the when past the register where you sit your stuff down. And usually they'll have a bunch of boxes, like empty boxes. And instead of them throwing away, they get it. You can have, and they'll take them home and they'll put the groceries in it. So they're doing your some of your trash for you. Yeah, that's something else.
oh, wow. So it says, um, according to Reader's Digest, Trader
Yeah,
Joe's founder Joe Colombe sold his
yeah.
business to Aldi in 1979, officially making the Albrecht family the proud owners of both prosperous markets. Since Aldi is split into two per Forbes, Trader Joe's was officially bought by the Aldi Nord branch.
Oh
I
wow,
didn't know that. I
I didn't
guess I
know that
do
either.
shop Aldi brands then. Yeah.
I I wish they would have a Trader Joe's around here too. That'd be nice.
Well, why don't you call the company in California and ask them?
Yeah. Well, there's a
I
giant
did
eagle that
when
went
I
up.
lived in
Yeah,
Hawaii, I
yeah.
called corporate
Oh,
and I
cool.
said, "I really want a Trader Joe's here." And they said it would just be too expensive
Mhm,
because of, shipping
mhm,
overseas,
mhm.
so but I did call and ask
Oh,
if
cool.
they would
Well,
build one.
there was a giant eagle that went out of business in Edinburgh. That could be replaced by something like that.
Hey, Star Wars, you too, have a great weekend. Oh, God, okay.
You see what he said?
Yeah,
I
moving
know.
on.
Well, oh
Yeah.
well.
I get it,
I know. I
I
can't
said
say.
earlier, there's some channels that
Yeah,
but
like
I
this.
wouldn't announce it,
Yeah.
but
Well, I already knew that too. When it goes,
have a
like
great
that.
weekend, Miller. Good to see you.
Hope you have a nice Memorial Day too, Pink.
Yeah, I'm working.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I mean, I've
Okay,
worked on
it's time
holidays.
and a half, it's good money, so
Yeah. Oh, okay. What time and a half? That's not bad.
yeah, I'll be rich.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
And spend more time going live. It's just weird
yeah,
because I was laid off. I went live a lot. I mean, it was like insane. On my birthday, I went live like 4 times. And I was saying, like, people said I wanted to get enough sleep because you get invested and then you lose sleep and stuff.
yeah,
And sometimes it's too tough to keep up with all the drama. And like, oh my God, you know, there's not enough time. Watch all the replays and stuff like that.
mm.
Oh, but I'm glad you went live though. That's cool.
Yeah, well, thanks everyone for coming.
Yep.
Jason, thank you for coming up.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being such a good friend. You're
Yeah, and,
amazing.
I'm sure tomorrow will be interesting
Yeah.
to see what Noodle Mash's, truth is,
Yeah.
um, but again, jail is no fun for anyone, especially with disabilities. I'm just blown away by that.
Yeah.
I think I think it could have been handled differently, but um, I hope she has thick skin because there's a lot of people out there who aren't happy with her right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You're welcome, Jamie. Thanks everyone for
Yeah,
coming. I've got to get back to bed so I can get up in two
yeah.
hours.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Good night, everybody. Be well and have a wonderful holiday tomorrow if you're in the
Yep.
States.
Yep.
And much love to everybody. Be well.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Jenny. Good night, Jason. Thank you
Good night,
again.
honey.
All
Oh,
right.
you're welcome. Thank you too.
All right, honey. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye. I just gotta find the lead studio. There we go.